This is the history of the internet. Well, yeah, the history of the internet so far. It's probably going to outlive all of us. But this is more so of the eras of the internet. We're going to go with the beginning, 1993, all the way up till 2022. Now, shockingly, there's not actually a lot of eras during this time, despite there being about 30 years. Still not a lot of era. Maybe 40. No, 30. So we're going to start off with the beginning, about 1993. Well, 1993. So we have the 90s era. The entirety of the internet is just the concept of the internet. It's mind boggling. So conceptually, the internet is what the internet is conceptually, i.e., I can share what I want to share to anybody in the world. So I'm just going to put it out there. And that's about it. Obviously, some people capitalize it on more than others, but that's roughly what the general idea of the internet is. Till we get the 2000s. The 2000s is probably one of my favorite eras. 2000s, 2009. Well, actually, 2000s probably 2006, 7. One of my favorite eras or at least one of my favorite eras as far as what it leads us to. Because the idea of that was essentially I could be in on a joke, and they could be in on a joke, despite us not knowing each other. And that's the joke. It's brilliant. The joke at this time is mostly making fun of somebody. Like any way you can make fun of someone, that's what they do. It's amazing. They're all mean and they're bullies. And this is where a lot of the internet this is where most of the internet's sarcasm comes from. About this era. The internet's just nothing but sarcasm, sarcastic comments, and a lot of hate. Think of 4chan, the horrific beginnings of Chris Chan, pretty much any of the Chans. Not a For some people, they would say it was a horrible time to be on the internet. But that brings us to about 2009. This is when the idea of existing as a character really brings on. You are a character, or you're selling your personality. Obviously, it existed a little bit before that, and that's what everyone was making fun of. But this is where everyone sort of accepts that this is where the internet is. They are selling a personality, the brand of themselves. Obviously, the brand of yourself is a pretty good brand if you're a good person. If you're a bad person, it's not, and you'd be seen a bit like a doo doo head, I guess. This is where we get the carryover from the previous era, which is the I'm in on the joke, you're not. We're sarcastic and we're mean and we hate everyone else. And this is kind of where the angry video game nerd comes from. Or at the time, what was he called it, but that's what he is now. He is making fun of the people who are selling their personality, and the idea of they're selling their personality is their angry personality. We all know it's fake, that they're pretending to be that angry. So he capitalizes on the joke even more. Sorry. Uh, Gaming is really popular, mainly because it's something you can easily sort of chill out. Again, angry selling your personality. I'm mean. I hate everyone. I hate this thing. I hate that thing. It's a very easy thing to shell out, and games come at a consistent rate. So you can consistently make fun of them. That and movies were your best bet. This leads us to the new era. This is the about the 2012s, 2014s. Well, a little bit before, yeah, 2012 to 2014 and a little bit beyond that, we have the Minecraft era. I call it the Minecraft era. Anyone who lived through it will probably call it the Minecraft era. It's honestly when Minecraft becomes popular. There's many reasons, but one of them is it's the natural evolution, as now you're shilling out. Not only are you shilling out yourself, but you're also covering it up by this game. It's still the idea of selling your own self, like before, you're selling your own brand. A bit of sarcasm. Some people like it, some people don't. It sort of drops off a bit more here. Don't worry, it gains back later. But it's not at its peak here. It's kind of just under the surface over in other areas of the internet. Not the popular internet, such as YouTube, about Facebook. Those are the two biggest at the time. Still pretty big. But now that we have the YouTube era and Minecraft coming on, what do we have? What do we have after the Minecraft era? Well, I'm going to go more on the Minecraft era, might as well. Long form videos, just as a whole. People are watching 30 minutes of Minecraft, of me playing Minecraft and looking for diamonds. People are going to watch a 40-minute video of you describing X. So there's no need to shill your personality. There's no need for you to shill that thing. Just you describing it is content enough. And this kind of brings us into the modern era. Well, hold off. Before, a little bit after the Minecraft era, and a little bit during the Minecraft era. It started then, where people started shelling to kids. Where it's, look at my wacky, zany personality. Kids love me. Now, obviously, they don't mean it that way. Some do, and they're in trouble for it now. And we sarcastically make fun of them. And then we just blatantly make fun of them because it's bad. So, yeah, we did that. They got caught for that. But anyway, they sell to kids, whatever. This is 2016 to about 2018, 2019, where they're, look at my zany personality. I sell to kids. This is again, roughly around shortly after Minecraft. It was very shortly. Shortly after Minecraft, people get long idea contents, and well, kids don't watch long term content. You know who does? Not kids. But you know what they do watch? Wacky zany personality. So they capitalize on this new influx of kids with their wacky zany personality because they want to watch Minecraft, or some of them want to watch what was before Minecraft, but those people are old, so we don't care about them. They're like 13, 14. They're not going to watch wacky zany personality. They're too edgy for that. They're going to watch probably want a long-term content about whatever. The kids who like the wacky term personality, they didn't get the sarcastic era. They don't care about it. They kind of go about Minecraft, wacky zany personality, and now they're roughly around an adult today. Because after wacky personality, we get today. Fun era, where much like what I'm capitalizing on now, it's mostly just story times. And obviously not all of them are. Animation has always been a thing. Animation leading to story time. They don't just animate random things. They animate little wacky characters that exist. And you tell a story. It's amazing. I have arms. I realize that doesn't come off in the videos. Like there's just a pair of floating hands. It's weird. But yeah. So animation exists, drops off, exists. They're doing their own thing throughout this entire time. Music was popular throughout this entire thing. I'm more so just talking about the thing that changes the core, so to speak, what the internet is mainly about. So after we have, and right now this I am mostly just talking about YouTube when I'm saying Minecraft and zany personality, as that's kind of the only thing that follows this storyline or follows the simple progression. As after YouTube becomes popular, well, after about 2012, the internet has such a huge backlog that you can't really describe the internet as anything again from what it started as. Just the concept of the internet is the internet. So you kind of have to follow one thing. And what's better than YouTube? Something that followed the natural progression of the internet so far. So now we get, again, today's era, we have the story time, typically told by or heard by an attractive female or attractive biological female. A nice, soft spoken, high pitched voice to avoid gendering it. So people go, they listen, they watch for 40, 100 minutes, whatever. Like 3 hours a day. They're very interested in the content. Obviously, that's not the only people who do it. There's also the people who just talk about a game for 5 hours. It's just a dude who looks like me, or a dude who looks like someone else, or someone who looks like someone else. It doesn't matter. It's still the story era where you're kind of just driven by. Here's 30 minutes deep delve of a concept or of one thing. Learn about it, which sort of this is the only time I want to bring in real world existence into the internet, which are horrible things to mix together. Don't ever do it. The Because of COVID existing, people feel lazy, and what fills that void of being lazy but learning? And what's better than learning than learning? Well, you're not really learning anything. You're just knowing more things, which some would say that is learning. Knowing more things, but they aren't things that you're going to remember. Much like this video, uh, assuming that you're watching it when it first comes out, because there's probably not a point if you're watching it when it first comes out. This video doesn't exist to watch when it first comes out. This video exists when the internet becomes more convoluted. Because again, the history of the internet will always sidge its dirty paws into the internet. And if you don't understand roughly how the internet started, what was going on around the time, you're not going to understand exactly how the world of the internet exists. There's such a huge back catalog. There's no real thing to know about the internet as a whole anymore. So it is interesting, at the very least, to think about what the internet used to be. But at the end of the day, it's still just a bunch of people who are passionate about one thing, tending to talk to a bunch of people who are passionate about that same thing. You can learn just about anything you want from the internet. You really can. People have learned private government papers. People learned how to build nuclear warheads, which I guess is a government private paper. There's nothing more secretive than a government private paper, right? You can learn about the history of someone's whole life. You can study it, but it kind of falls to the wayside, which is a fascinating thing to say. You can watch someone's life start, peak, and slowly unfold into obscurity, and then going slowly insane. Chris Chan, a lot of internet personalities. I'm using Chris Chan because that's a huge thing. Or Christina Chan, as I think they like to be called, and I am using they because I don't know if it's going to change. Uh, you can watch many internet personalities have public meltdowns because there's nothing stopping them from going to the public, going to the presses, which is essentially them. They're the only outsource of themselves. Very interesting. But yeah, that was a brief history on the internet and sort of a dwelling on rambling in the past about how much I like the internet. I probably do more of this later, but it's a bit late and I'm a bit tired. So, see ya. Good luck learning about the internet. Actually, I'm gonna redo that wink.